Hello, comrades. It's Premier Rever, and I am back again, staring down at my city of Revergrad. We are doing much better. I have been taking some people out, so many of our houses are not filled to the gills anymore, and this is indicated by the fact that we don't have any children over the age of 21 still living with their parents. So that's wonderful. As far as last year went, our population increased fairly nicely. We still have quite a few, probably more than I want, uneducated people, but what I did to try to rectify that, now that we're a little more established in these other towns, I noticed quite a few of them were actually living in these other towns. I went and set up houses that would provide to the schools, so I took some of the educated people that we're getting in Revergrad and moved them over. And I think I mentioned that I was going to do that in the last episode. So I've just generally moved a bunch of people in from Revergrad, built a couple more houses over here, did the same thing with the schoolhouse, I guess you could call it, for the teachers. So hopefully that'll get the number. We certainly seem to have enough teachers, but you can see there's a few adults in there getting educated at the moment. So anyway, other than that, I have set I now kind of have 3 construction crews going. And the biggest problem is with getting enough steel. I know it looks like we have a little bit right there, but I need quite a bit if I'm going to do my power plant, which I've started working on, figuring, well, they'll run out of steel when they run out of steel, but it takes a long time to build one of these anyway, so hopefully we'll get better about the steel. I also started working on our coal mine, finished the bus stop up here, and yeah, so that, again, pretty lengthy project and doesn't really require that much steel. So hopefully these guys will build up their steel stock down here before that happens. I also added another bus, who knows where he's at, one of these red buses running back and forth, to take guys all the way up to the coal mill. And it's producing some coal, but it was certainly the weak part of the link. Like you can actually see, look, the coal's going up in here a tiny bit. Well, because we don't have any workers. Well, there comes a couple. And let's see, do we have it? It's actually gone up. It went up a tiny bit. Now it's coming back down because we didn't have any workers at the thing. But at times I'm actually producing well. So that will improve as we get more people in town here. You can see I have the whole section we laid out for adding more houses. But before I added too much more and actually committed to spending money, well, let me show you the last section of construction. Is still just in progress. Nothing. It takes these guys an awful long time, so we'll get our town laid out here in another episode. But once we get these, then I can start sending some construction supplies up here. And we already have our gravel, which is getting filled up by a few dump trucks. So progress is being made. But I wanted to do our next big project, which would be to think about where we're going to put our oil. And even though I'm nowhere near, well, not nowhere near, but kind of far off from doing the oil, I didn't want to encroach on where I might build a town. Like I thought, boy, it might be good to I can move this road if we have to and put more houses in here, even though it's on a bit of a hill. We can level that out and maybe even down in here. So like the thought was, well, I want to build another school, and then first instinct was to build it here, and then I thought, well, you know what, let's lay out the oil and see where that leads us to. So I think the first thing, let's start in the beginning, right? Which would be with an oil rig. So now, of course, the oil rig, I don't see any real need. This is such a big oil field. I do want to put it in a place that's, not going to stop everybody else from getting oil too much. But why don't we put it, he'll already have road access there, and I have to build with Rubles. Get that off. I do wish they would change that. Need to flatten. I probably don't have an excavator, do I? I got enough of one. Alright, I don't know that he'll have any power out here, but there we go. So that should be a relatively successful oil field, I would think. And we're going to need, I'm going to want to at least have a tank for these guys to pump into. I don't think I'll need a, well, let's see, do we want a, oops, wrong one. Do we want to put it into one of these so that we can combine the efforts, yeah? Why don't I put it like here? And then, is it possible to just attach to this road? Let's see. Yes. It's funny when you can go back the other way sometimes. Alright, let's bulldoze it. Try to go. There we go. Again, it'll just be for construction purposes mostly. And since I'm here, might as well build a pipe over to there. Is that going to be a problem? Well, again, it's all in. What's wrong? Okay, you just want to be finicky. I understand. I'm that way some days too. Alright, so actually, before we place down a tank, which I do want to put a tank somewhere here, we might as well actually put down the oil. Now, let's see. Now, the road I'm not too worried about, but the oil... Yeah, oil coming in... Well, we can run pipes, even though they're rather expensive. Yeah, see, this is far enough away from town that I'm not sure that it... But I could run up... Yeah, I think we're probably better off keeping this... Oh, come on. So we'll get this leveling. But I want to push it up a little bit further up towards the hill. So we have our in and out are kind of on the left-hand side there. I'm not real overly happy with that, but the other option would be to have the infeed. We'll loop around the infeed, right? Might be a better way to go, because I think it's going to be more pipes to attach to. Well, I'm not exactly picturing the world's most. So if we put it this way, yeah, what if we kept it all down this way? If we kept it like this. Nobody has to work in the oil rigs. And I don't have an asphalt plant here, though that would make a bit of sense, wouldn't it? In the long run. But I'm kind of liking this spot, and I think it's far enough away from the oil field. We're not going to put another one closer to this. Let's see what it looks like as time goes on. Now, chemical plant produces chemicals and needs crops. So I don't think we can build that now anyway because it's grayed out. But asphalt plant, plastics. Yeah, so we can do a plastics. Plastics needs oil. Well, we could probably either do the plastics up here or down here would make sense. So if we put the plastics factory, again, I don't necessarily see myself building it. What if we put it kind of like way down here? Well, with the oil. Yeah, here's what I'm thinking of, because I have to bring the oil in this way anyhow, so I got to go by here, and then we could connect our road up over here. That means we're going to have to bus everybody in, which isn't, I don't know that I want to live near an oil refinery anyway. My grandfather grew up, my grandfather lived where my father was. All right, so we want, let's do this so that the outs, can I do this? Yeah, there you go. So I can have an out that goes to here and an out that goes to there. So I don't see why we can't at least lay the pipes out so they're in our way if they're in our way. Can I just do that? No. I do want to kind of keep you close if I can. There we go. So now from here, we go up a notch. I'm going to cut over this way more. Then let's go down a notch. Up to there. All right, so if we get more oil fields, we'll tie into here. We can put as many of those joiner things together. And then we'll just have like sort of a reservoir tank that will feed the two different things there. Plastics and the oil refinery. All right, and then coming out of here, let's see, we have, I don't know that it matters. If you do look at these, like to me this looks more like a fuel kind of tank, though not necessarily 100% true. So maybe we could have, you know, an oil storage for a buffer. I think that'll hook up. Is there enough room? This says a road in both ways. Yeah. Okay. Now, why didn't the road attach? All right. Just making sure. Just didn't want to. Right, so let's go back to pipes. And we can have a pipe filling that up. And we can have a pipe filling this up. Oh, you know what though? What do I'm going to do? I'm going to take this off, just in case. I watched Colonel Failure. I don't know if you've ever seen his videos. I've been a fan of his for a while. And he couldn't figure out, I'm sure he knows it by now, but in these tanks, on the right-hand side of the tank screen, I don't have any tanks I can show you, there's a store this type in here. Don't attach these if you're going to fire this up until you actually select like fuel, because once you select fuel, it'll only put fuel in this tank. So anyway, I don't know if you know what I mean, but definitely do that. You'll take a look if you, but it's funny to watch him. I think he probably spent a half hour of his video. All right, so this could work out pretty well. You know, let's get rid of some trees here so we can see what's what. All right, that looks like it's fairly fairly steep here. I want to get rid of some of it. I don't care if it's a hill, but some of it's just a bit much. So what we'll do is we'll get a bitumen tank somewhere over in this region. And we'll make a bit of a plateau like right here. Where we put our tank. Probably even do a little tank leveling, huh? Alright, so if we have it somewhere in this ballpark. I'll move it over here just to get, that's really not what I want you to do. Let's try to walk the level. I'm going to kind of go lower here. Yeah, I want to thank you guys for all your comments and support and likes. And one of the comments is a little bit of a discussion about building leveling. And me calling it a bit cheaty, but it's really, I mean, it's part of the game. I wish they would give you, you know, a tool like the other leveling tools where you could just do this officially in a sense. Yeah. There you go. See that? That's going to be a nice. Oops, a little too fast. And like System is saying, you know, this is really, it's not illegitimate, and I shouldn't call it cheaty. All right, so now that's a little bit far away for that, but I'm going to bring it out of here just because it looks more like it belongs there. Now, oops. Let's lower this guy down. And often if you just do that, that'll be enough to just, you know, it doesn't like those real sharp edges there. So now we'll have bitumen coming into here. And again, whether I build it or not, where can we get to an asphalt plant? Offloading asphalt plant. I need a road going up to that tank for construction purposes. And then the other thing I would want is an offloading facility. And can I do it this way maybe? Yeah, see the hill. So if we put this guy here, I should be able to, well, let's do the asphalt plant first. So what I'm thinking of is asphalt. Let's go down here and see if we can't at least level it a bit. Give it some extra room. Then we'll have a little road that comes off. It's good to not have too many connections, I think, because one guy was saying on the Steam forums that if you have... Right, so how does that look? It wasn't exactly what I meant to do. I was hoping to level a little bit more, but I can always... there you go. Let's take that little spot down a bit, too. A little more natural. Usually I actually like to use the leveling. Not so much to up and down. Alright, so now let's see if we can't get a road. Oh, we need Yeah, let's put the road in first. And we'll do a gravel road all the way back to the tank, even though we don't really need it. And then I'll hook these up later once that road's built. That way it's just one project. And those should be close enough, you know, the asphalt plant. There's no people work here, but the asphalt plant should be able to pick up people from there. And then we can do pipelines. It's a little different than I was expecting, but there we go. So we would have, that looks about goofy, doesn't it? Let's do a little, let's get rid of that hill. Yeah, let's do a little lower first. Thank you, save. This game, the autosave, this isn't the kind of game that the autosave really saves you a lot of times. Like, you know, you've already made like catastrophic mistakes. Sometimes like an hour or two ago before you even realized that you were making such a mistake. That's probably plenty. Let me just. Okay. Why don't I have a bulldozer free? Did I run him out of fuel? Is he in the gas station? Where'd he go? How, I mean, why would he be up here? I got the excavator there. So do I not have a bulldozer in there? No. Well, it seems to be letting me. No, I don't even have a bulldozer in there. All right, well, let's do some tank leveling. I really want it smooth. So the level tool is kind of more like a smooth tool, you know? All right, anyway. There. That looks a lot better, doesn't it? All right, so we're not attaching that, and we're actually, you know what? We're not attaching this either, because again, we're going to specify that that tank can only hold bitumen and that this tank can only hold fuel, but that's great. Once we get this in, we'll be in much better shape. So let's see, let's get an idea. Relatively cheap, you know, we're up to like 16 tons of steel. Yeah, pretty expensive. Well, not expensive, but 26. These tanks are, this will be the big one, I'm sure. 300. So we're up, you know, let's see. I just count the cost of steel, you know. And right now, that's the slowest thing I have going here, too. So before all this is in, I'm going to need probably in the neighborhood of 400. Yeah, definitely about 400 tons of steel in order to get that in. And that, I guess they're probably starting to deliver steel yet. No, they're still running asphalt and gravel back and forth. But there's, you know, another, call it 300. I think we counted last time, like, you know, so we got my steel spoken for the next few months of production. How are we doing? Still can't keep up with coal. I was coming over here. Yeah, it's better than it was when I was coming in between the episodes or whenever before. Like there would be times with nobody here. Now maybe they'll drop off to nobody. Where's our bus? That's the other bus. Yeah, because that's Energinist. This one's like Pedansk. Yeah, so this is the second bus that I added. Now this other guy, Where'd he go? Buddy, you took a wrong turn. Are you going all the way up there for gas? No, you're not going up there for gas. Oh, Gdansk iron mine. Oh, wait a second. Did I... Oh, are their names just... So did I mess it up? Oh, this is a full-size bus platform. I didn't realize that. See, I was... Alright, not that I don't want you to go there, but I think I want you to go here. Alright, well that, at least, let's go and select that. And then delete that stop. Alright, so well that makes sense anyway. When we get an update to rename... Nope, not yet. I think the update was a couple days ago. So yeah, another thing that's come up in the comments is, and I'm trying to let you guys catch up. I kind of raced ahead on recording episodes. So I was probably almost a week ahead, which is a little odd for me, but then I knew I was going to be busy with real life things for a few days, and I wanted to get episodes up. But yeah, even if don't not leave a comment because you think I'm recording ahead. Sometimes I'm, recording them the evening before, but usually I'll be at 2 or 3 days ahead as far as that goes. So. All right, well, I guess I have my work cut out for me. Let's go see if these guys have done anything else. Yes, they finally got done. It took them an awful long time, and one of the reasons it took them so long is because I had assigned all 4, and they have to get people for these little roads. They can't just use the equipment. So, well, I'm not sure if it matters which one we do first, but we should probably get them working. There we go. We'll start in the north. And that'll be a pretty big help to get, some supplies run up to that far. And I still don't think I deleted this. I don't know why I would have been up here deleting anything. So we lost a gravel thing up here. I'm not sure if that was a bug. I mean, it certainly could have been the delete click through. I try to be pretty careful with that. Other than that, how is our aggregate storage is kind of full, so there's no reason to ramp up this operation. And we will start making our own cement. That's why we're working on our coal mine up here. But other than that, our town is doing pretty well. It will be nice to get our own cement going. How are people doing? Oh, look, we got 2 adults. So now the problem I've noticed is that when you get different towns, it depends on which town is having the problem. It could be, say it's not this one. So what that means is that we have too many people down here. So which one was it? This one? Since I wasn't doing much construction, I was just looking for people that were educated, 75 of them. And then I would come up here to like this one, we just look, doesn't have hardly anybody in it. Oops. So I would just come up here, just kind of empty them out. Now it doesn't make them overly happy when you do that. And there was another suggestion to take care of the hospital because they felt that the power plant was causing disease. I wasn't overly concerned about it because I had too many darn people anyway. But if you look, they're absolutely right. I've seen the average lifespan be like higher, but it's at the same time, it's not like it's that low, If we click on this house, it's higher than the when we clicked on, I don't know, whatever one we clicked on. We'll click over here. See, this one's 88. This one that's the closest to this power plant is here. So I'm not sure how much effect these industries really have on people's lifespan. Or I think there's a number of things that have been implemented have not been implemented, but they're there, and I'm sure they're going to work on them. These guys seem like they're pretty dedicated to their game and giving imports or giving updates. I mean, imports. Yeah, there's where we do our imports and exports. So, another thing, people have made a couple comments on this, and this is my understanding of it. And if I don't have complete happiness, I looked up, like, well, how do you get, I didn't specifically see a building. Apparently the radio station can help with that, but I'm thinking, well, like, how are you supposed to control the loyalty in a little town like this where you can't afford anything? I can't afford a radio station. I mean, I will get one, and maybe sooner than later. But really, there's not too much, and they said it doesn't have much effect. So it's, at least that's from what I read in the forums. So this happiness is the biggest thing. If you can keep that up, and you can click on buildings and find out why people might not be happy. Now, they're not happy because they can't go to church, but there's nothing you can do about it. There's no church building to buy, so that's it. Now, alcohol has one of the greatest effects on happiness. However, it also affects apparently their lifespan. They could become alcoholic, basically, and that's not a good thing either. So you really want to try to get them a cinema and some sports, which they have here and here, and get them decent clothes and decent food. So one of the reasons they might not be so happy is the clothes. I don't know. Again, you'd have to kind of look at each area. Like, when you get in new workers, they're not as happy if you paid for workers, or if you move people to a new area. See, these people have a lot more complaints here. Unable to visit a pub or a tavern. And that could be legitimate, or it could just be that you need to put in more direct footpaths, but there's a pub or tavern. Now, it could also be that you didn't have enough people. That's a real big one. Like, notice I have 4 staff here now. There could be a point where you just don't have enough sellers, and see how the current number of shoppers is kind of, 38. So we're not selling to everybody because we really don't have enough sellers at this point. So we should probably think about more schools, which I will do after we get some things built. Now that I have an idea of where this is going to be, there's no reason I wouldn't, kind of keep a town central here. Maybe we can even put in a big, maybe we'll do it right now. And then we'll just call it an episode. Construction, let's close this. Things people want. Can I get a shopping center in? That thing is big, isn't it? We got to get a hospital in here too. You don't like that. Alright, let's lower this a bit. It's kind of a big area to lower, isn't it? I saw this red here. I didn't want it way up in the sky if we're going to do some building level. That was a road I had stuck out there, huh? Let's delete that. By the way, when I hit escape, or after I get done, I always hit escape. Make sure I don't. Alright, so let's spin it around, see if we can't get it to line up better. Yeah, see, now it lines up with the road better because I spun it around. Where do we put it? Level out more of this area. Too much, too fast? Too much, too fast. Now, the reason I spun it this way is I like the idea. Let's see if I go down. I try to go that little bit extra. I'm not getting any. Trying to get it far enough I could put that road back in. You didn't like that after all that? There you go. Alright, so we put 2 road connections in. Look, we can get that road in there. Blocks this one, but that's okay. We'll get a road going across here. Let's we gotta go here. And I'm just gonna go for, well, we'll go for an asphalt road with a path, right? I think I'm actually gonna start here. No, I'm not. See, in some ways I almost like the roads as a leveling tool better, even though they're, I mean, they're not better, but, you know. There we go. So we'll have a road that way. Now the question is, do we even want this goofy... I mean, you know, we could come down up on, yeah, if we leveled this just out a little bit more. We could come with a road this way. Kind of create a square for some more stuff, including houses, you know. One of the main reason I spend time leveling like this is because I have OCD. No, I'm just kidding. It's because you do get the buildings in a lot tighter. And if it means getting in some more houses, you know, then that's more houses. Nice. So now let's go for asphalt roads. No, you don't like that? Why don't you like that? Some other infrastructure's in the way. Yeah, it just doesn't like that road there, does it? That's where I want to put you. Now, maybe what we could do is, where would we do this? Let's cut, like, we'll get rid of that road, but we'll do it. Why don't you like that? You just don't like being straight. Okay. And that. We'll just do this real quick. I can always delete it. Let's turn. Can't really see where I started, but to make it kind of square. That square there. You're just not going to like that, are you? So we can always build it this way and then delete that, you know? Yeah, what do you think? That makes like a nice big square where we could possibly, you know, we'll get rid of this road here. We'll have to have some kind of road for this, but in the meantime, this can get built, even if we don't use it. We can build a road here, but once we at least build this portion, then we'll be able to get rid of this, right? Because they can come up here and then around, then we can build the rest. I don't like the way this is crooked, so we'll just get rid of it. And I'll leave that there because we might expand that way or something. Good. Well, that'll be a nice big flat area to build some more houses. That'll be a little bit close to here. Maybe we'll get another bus stop in down here or something. There you go. All right. Well, we have oil planned, and I think I will, just play the game and get things built. How are we doing? Speaking of built, so we're just building. Really, we're building here. What are we doing? Now we're still just doing the concrete, the groundworks. So that's all right. Like I said, it's a big project. But we'll have another power plant with its own coal supply, and we'll have another, coal supply that we can then ship coal over to our cement plant relatively close, and we'll have our own cement, and everything will be wonderful. How is our? Oh yeah, look, we're building up. We're doing better with that, especially since I figured out that I have 2 Gdansk bus stops. And it never dawned on me that I put a big bus stop in there by accident, and so I was expecting it to say like 2 at the end. That I would have looked for, but good. All right. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will get some more work done, and we'll come back and keep building. But we'll be, but this is really getting us towards self-sufficient. What will we not be making after this? Well, the electronic components. Hey, we have the university to research those, so we'll get on it. All right. Thank you, guys. Thanks for all the support, for the likes and the subscribes. I do appreciate it. Take care. Bye-bye. Have a good day.